Most people will never break free because they never break the cycle. They wake up each day with a mind still chained to yesterday's fears, still replaying the same patterns, still accepting mediocrity as normal. But not you, not anymore. You're here because something inside you refuses to be silent. Something powerful, something relentless, something that knows you were built for more. And that something is not just hope, it's hunger. The hunger to rise, to reclaim your life, to step out of the shadow of your past and into the force of your future. If you wait for motivation, you'll always be chasing. But if you build discipline, you become the one leading. The reason you feel stuck isn't because you lack ability. It's because you've been waiting for a feeling, when what you need is a decision. Decide to stop letting circumstances decide your worth. Decide to stop letting comfort steal your greatness. Decide that your potential will no longer be held hostage by your excuses. And once you make that decision, everything begins to shift, not outside, but within. The real battlefield is in your mind. Every doubt, every fear, every lie you've believed has built a wall around your strength. But those walls aren't real. They're thoughts, and thoughts can be challenged, rewritten, replaced. When you begin to train your mind to think strong, act strong, move strong, you no longer wait for the world to give you permission. You create your own path. You lead yourself when no one else shows up. You show yourself that you're capable, not by feeling ready, but by doing it anyway. That version of you that's focused, driven, unstoppable, it's not far away. It's just buried under habits that no longer serve you. And it's time to let them go. Time to break up with procrastination, with self-doubt, with every toxic pattern that's been keeping you small. Because no one's coming to save you. No miracle moment is going to arrive and change everything overnight. The transformation you're looking for won't happen in a flash. It will happen in the quiet hours, when you choose to keep showing up again and again, long after the excitement fades. This is where the real shift happens, not when it's easy, but when it's not. When you push through the resistance, when you silence the inner critic, when you rise while everyone else is still sleeping. That's where greatness is built, in discipline, in patience, in persistence that doesn't break when things get hard. And yes, it will be lonely, yes, it will hurt. But nothing is more painful than a life lived in regret. You owe it to yourself to find out what you're truly capable of. This is your moment to rise, not because everything around you is perfect, but because everything within you is ready. Make the decision, draw the line, and become the kind of person who doesn't wait for life to change, but becomes the one who changes it. The world doesn't give you what you ask for. It gives you what you demand with your actions, your discipline, and your consistency. You can dream all day, you can plan for years, but nothing changes until you move, until you show life that you're serious, that you're done waiting, that you're done hoping someone else will come fix what's broken. The truth is, no one else is coming. And that's your greatest power, because it means everything is in your hands. Your life, your direction, your next step, all of it is yours to shape. Your pain has a purpose, but only if you decide to grow through it. The struggles, the setbacks, the silent battles that no one sees, those are not signs of weakness. They are evidence that you are still in the fight, that you haven't given up. And even if you're tired, even if you feel like you're barely holding on, you're still here. And that means there's still time, still power, still potential that hasn't been touched. You are not finished. You are not broken. You are becoming, and the process will not be pretty, but it will be worth it. You don't rise by doing more of the same. You rise by doing the opposite of what kept you small. The hard conversations you've been avoiding, have them. The habits you know are killing your energy, break them. The goals you've been too afraid to chase, start now. Because change only happens when you start acting like the future you want is already yours. Walk like it, speak like it, move like it. Because your brain listens. It watches what you do more than what you say. If you want power, act powerful. If you want freedom, act free. If you want greatness, then start by showing up like you already own it. No one gets strong by accident. Strength is built through repetition. By choosing discipline when it's easier to give in, by standing tall when your mind begs you to shrink. You don't need motivation. You need to train your identity, to tell yourself every day who you are becoming. Not who you've been, not what the past says, but what you choose now. because you are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the opinion of people who stopped trying years ago. You are the result of every moment you decided to keep going when it would have been easier to quit. This is your call to rise, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but now. Your future is not something you wait for, it's something you create moment by moment with every thought, every action, every step. You've got what it takes, not because it's easy, but because you've already survived things that were meant to break you. That strength, that resilience, it's in you. And now is the time to use it. Stop looking for permission. You are the permission. You are the fire. Now burn through every limit you thought you had. Your limits are not real. They are patterns. Thoughts repeated so many times they've started to feel like truth. But they're not. They're habits of the mind, not facts. And you can break them. Every single one. That voice telling you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, that voice isn't yours. It's the echo of fear, and fear only grows when you feed it. But courage grows when you move, even when your hands shake, even when your heart pounds, even when you have every reason to stop, but choose to take one more step anyway. You are not here to live on repeat. You are here to evolve, to destroy the old version of you that settled for less, the one that apologized for taking up space, the one that watered itself down to keep others comfortable. That version of you is gone because the truth has hit you now. The truth that you were made for impact, for excellence, for a life that stretches far beyond the safety of your comfort zone. And that truth doesn't leave you alone. It demands action. It demands a new standard. And it starts the moment you say, I'm done living small. You don't need more time. You need more intensity, more presence, more honesty. Stop saying you're waiting for the right moment. Every moment you delay, you reinforce the idea that you're not ready. And that becomes who you are. But when you start showing up like your future depends on it, because it does, everything shifts. Confidence is not found. It is built. And every time you take action, you teach your mind that you can trust yourself, that you don't need to feel perfect to start, that you don't need to see the full path to take the first step. Your habits shape your identity. If you keep doing what weakens you, you'll believe you're weak. But if you start choosing what strengthens you, even when it's uncomfortable, you become someone who commands their life instead of reacting to it. Discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. Freedom from guilt, freedom from regret, freedom from waking up years from now wondering what could have been if only you had started when you knew you should. That pain, that hesitation, that resistance, it's not there to stop you. It's there to test you, to ask you one question: how bad do you want it? No one can give you your future. You have to claim it through effort, through repetition, through the daily decision to rise, even when everything inside you screams to retreat. That's how warriors are made, not through comfort, but through fire. And that fire already lives in you. So stop standing in the doorway of your potential, waiting for someone to pull you through. Walk through it, own it, live it. The future isn't somewhere you arrive. It's something you step into by becoming the version of you who refuses to stay the same. You have one life, and it's moving fast. Every second you spend doubting yourself, every minute wasted in hesitation, every day you delay your breakthrough, you're handing time to fear, time you will never get back. And the truth is, no one escapes this life without facing discomfort. The question is whether you're going to let that discomfort shape you into strength or suffocate you in silence. You weren't born to watch your potential decay in the shadows. You were born to rise, to fight, to build something so powerful within yourself that nothing around you can shake it. The clock won't wait. Life doesn't pause because you're unsure. It moves with or without you. And while you're hesitating, someone else is moving forward. Someone with less talent, fewer resources, more fear, but more action. Because action is the great separator. It's what turns a wish into a result. You can't think your way into change. You can't wish your way into power. You move. You show up. You act with purpose, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. That's how transformation begins, not in ease, but in tension. The tension between who you've been and who you know you could be. Your comfort zone is not your friend. It whispers soft lies, offering the illusion of peace while stealing your progress. It keeps you where it's safe, but also where you're stuck. Growth, demands risk. It demands you stretch beyond what's familiar. It demands you let go of the version of yourself that's more interested in survival than expansion. You've already survived. Now it's time to thrive, but you can't reach new levels with the same mindset that built your limits. You must upgrade your standards, your energy, your decisions. The mind will fight change. It will beg for the familiar, even when the familiar is destroying you. That's why most people never grow, because they confuse comfort with peace. But real peace comes from progress, from knowing you showed up when it mattered, from looking back and knowing you didn't waste your fire on fear. Every time you push through resistance, you send a message to your future self: I'm coming for you. I'm done settling. I'm done hiding. I'm done shrinking to fit places I've outgrown. You can't rewrite your past, but you can reshape your future. And it starts with the courage to face yourself, to hold your own gaze in the mirror and refuse to lie to yourself anymore. You know what needs to change. You've always known. Now it's time to act like it. Every moment you hesitate, you lose ground. Every step you take, you reclaim it. Your time is now. Not when you feel ready. Not when things get easier. Now, because your greatness is not waiting at the finish line. It's being built in every second you refuse to quit. So stand up, breathe deep, and move. The life you want is waiting for the version of you who's willing to demand it. There is a version of you that doesn't flinch when pressure hits. A version that doesn't crumble when the world gets loud, when doubt creeps in, or when everything feels stacked against you. That version exists. It's real. But it won't reveal itself to comfort. It won't show up if you keep running from the mirror. It only appears when you make a clear, brutal decision to step into discomfort and fight for the life you were meant to live. You're not here to be average. You're not here to just make it through the day. You're here to rise above the noise and prove, first to yourself, that you are the one who decides what happens next. The greatest power you'll ever possess is your ability to choose how you respond. You don't control the world, but you control how you show up in it. That choice, every single day, is what builds strength. Discipline is not glamorous, it's quiet, it's unseen, but it's the foundation of everything you want. And when you start honoring your decisions more than your emotions, your life will begin to change. Your emotions may tell you to quit, to wait, to play it safe. But your discipline, that's the voice of your higher self saying, we're not going backward. Your brain will try to protect you by keeping you the same. It doesn't care if you're happy, it cares if you're familiar. But you can rewire it. You can teach it new rules. You do that by showing up for yourself daily, especially when you don't want to. That's when it matters most. That's when the breakthroughs begin. Not when it feels easy, but when it feels impossible and you still push through. That is how champions are made. Not once, not in one big moment, but in the small, invisible battles you fight with yourself when no one is watching. You've spent too long underestimating your own strength. You've told yourself stories that served your fear more than your potential, but you're not powerless. You never were. You just forgot. And now, it's time to remember, to wake up to the truth that you are the one who decides how this ends. Not your past, not your circumstances. You, with your effort, with your choices, with your resilience. Your future doesn't need permission from your past. It only needs your commitment in the present. This is not about being perfect. It's about being relentless, about showing up even if you stumble, about falling down and standing up faster every time. Progress is messy, but every scar, every struggle, every doubt overcome, those are your badges of growth. They mean you didn't back down. They mean you're becoming the person you were always meant to be. So rise, not because it's easy, not because it's guaranteed, but because deep down you know this: the only way out is through. And the only thing more painful than change is staying the same. Your future doesn't begin someday. It begins the moment you decide that who you are now is no longer enough for who you are becoming. That quiet decision made deep in your soul is more powerful than any external change, because it shifts your identity. And when your identity shifts, your actions follow. You stop waiting. You stop negotiating with weakness. You stop making excuses for things you're capable of changing. You start aligning every thought, every choice, every breath with the vision you refuse to die without living. That's not motivation, that's internal revolution. You weren't born to repeat cycles. You weren't born to wake up tired of yourself, stuck in patterns that numb your potential. You were born to disrupt the ordinary, to shatter the script, to create a life so aligned with your purpose that it burns through doubt. But none of that happens by accident. It happens when you finally stop avoiding responsibility and start owning your path. Ownership is power. The second you take full responsibility for your life, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the architect of your future. Pain will visit everyone. That's not a punishment. It's a signal, a trigger to evolve, to get honest about what's no longer working, to stop clinging to what's easy and start leaning into what's necessary. Because nothing changes until something changes in you, not around you, in you. The way you think, the way you speak, the way you show up when no one's clapping. That internal standard, that's what builds real power. And once it's raised, there's no going back. You either rise to meet it, or you crumble under the weight of your own potential. Excuses are just stories. Stories designed to protect the ego, not elevate the soul. And the more you feed them, the more convincing they become. But deep down, you know the truth. You know when you're hiding. You know when you're coasting. And you know that nothing extraordinary will come from comfort. So let the excuses die. Replace them with action. Replace them with hunger. Replace them with an unshakable commitment to become the version of you that doesn't flinch in the face of pressure, but uses it as fuel. Every time you rise when it's hard, you shift something inside you. You create evidence that you are capable, that you are disciplined, that you can be trusted with the life you say you want. That evidence compounds, it grows, and eventually it rewrites your identity. You stop being someone who tries and start being someone who does. That shift is everything. Because once your mind believes you are the type of person who never quits, who shows up, who leads themselves through the fire, you become unstoppable. Not because you have no fear, but because you've chosen courage over comfort, one decision at a time. And now there's no turning back. There comes a moment when you can no longer betray the potential that lives inside you, when the cost of staying the same outweighs the fear of change, when you can no longer tolerate the weight of unused strength, buried gifts, and ignored purpose. That moment is now. Not when you feel ready, not when the conditions are perfect. Now, because every day you wait, you teach yourself that your dreams can be postponed, that your future can be delayed. But the truth is, there is no perfect time to become who you were meant to be. There is only now, and what you choose to do with it. The greatest breakthroughs don't come with loud announcements or sudden lightning strikes. They come silently, in the quiet defiance of your old patterns, in the moments you feel the pull to quit, but take one more step anyway, in the discipline you build when no one is watching. That's where strength is born, in the stillness, in the repetition, in the refusal to be average. And once you start stacking those moments, you begin to build a life that reflects who you truly are, not who you've been pretending to be. You don't need more motivation. You need alignment. Alignment between your thoughts, your actions, and your standards. Because when your life doesn't match what you claim to want, there's only one question you must ask: what am I still tolerating? What am I allowing that contradicts the greatness I say I want? And the second you stop tolerating weakness, comfort, excuses, and distractions, you will create a shift so powerful, it will pull your entire life into a higher frequency. A frequency where clarity lives, where purpose thrives, where transformation becomes inevitable. You are not behind, you are not late, you are right on time to rise. But it won't happen passively. You have to decide, with force, with intention, with the kind of conviction that burns away anything that no longer fits who you are becoming. That's how you evolve. Not by hoping, not by waiting, by taking radical ownership of every thought, every choice, every day, because no one is coming to live your purpose for you. No one is coming to fix the patterns you refuse to confront. And that's the beauty of it. You don't need them to. You are the solution. You always were. Let this be the moment you remember what you're capable of. Let it be the day you stop explaining your potential and start proving it. You've wasted enough time trying to fit into boxes that were never built for your power. Now it's time to break them, to rewrite the rules, to rise with a fire that doesn't ask for permission, but creates its own path through every obstacle. You are not here to survive this life quietly. You are here to lead it boldly. And the time to begin is the moment you decide that enough is enough, There is a standard within you that you haven't fully demanded yet. A higher level of excellence waiting to be activated. Not by luck, not by chance, but by choice. The choice to step into the version of you that doesn't accept halfway. The version that doesn't shrink to fit in. The version that wakes up with fire in the eyes. No matter how heavy the doubt or how loud the fear, you don't need more validation. You don't need anyone to see what you see. You need to trust that the vision inside you was placed there for a reason. And that reason is not to die with you. Your life will only grow to the level of your standards. If you tolerate chaos, you'll live in it. If you accept mediocrity, you'll be buried in it. But if you raise your standard and refuse to settle, your entire world begins to recalibrate. That shift doesn't require permission. It requires hunger. Hunger to become the one who doesn't negotiate with laziness, who doesn't explain away failure, who doesn't apologize for wanting more. That hunger must become your fuel, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Because your next level doesn't care about your comfort. It demands your discipline. Greatness is not something you stumble into. It's something you step toward with clarity and force. You strip away the distractions, or you eliminate the noise. You narrow your focus to what matters, and you keep showing up long after the mood has left. That is how excellence is built, one choice at a time. Small, unglamorous, repeated with intention. The world will offer you shortcuts. Ignore them. Because anything earned without struggle is a gift you're not prepared to keep. And the life you want isn't free. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you old habits. But what you gain in return is everything. Discipline doesn't restrict you, it frees you. It gives you the power to live by design, not by reaction. And once you taste that power, you'll never want to go back. You'll stop chasing dopamine. You'll stop chasing distractions. And you'll start chasing mastery. Mastery of your mind, mastery of your energy, mastery of your time. You'll understand that focus is a superpower, that consistency is a weapon, and that a life of purpose is built through patience, not perfection. You are closer than you think, closer to the life that keeps calling you in the silence, closer to the version of you that no longer doubts, no longer hides, no longer accepts anything less than full alignment. But to get there, you have to let go of who you were. You have to choose discomfort over ease, action over thought, discipline over distraction. This is your call to rise. No more waiting, no more wishing, just a relentless commitment to becoming who you were always meant to be, no matter what it takes. Because you don't need easy, you need purpose, and your purpose is waiting.